Hey up everybody. Again, this is another video which is non-motorcycle related. So I'm just going to run you through what I'm doing on this project here, which is a DIY video. Or DIY, I'm actually semi-professional. I should be professional by now. Anyway, so what we had before was a heavily Artex ceiling going across here. So instead of messing around trying to plaster on top of the Artex, which I do quite a lot in the day job, I've overboarded this because it was flaking away quite a lot as well. Now, some advice when overboarding. Obviously, I've used 1800 by 900 by 12mm square edge plasterboard here. So what I always advise people to do is to find where your joists are above. All right, and the best way to do that is to, for example, here, go up in the loft and drill a 5mm hole either side of each joist coming down, rather than hitting it around and trying to guess where the joist is. Spend some time prepping up to find where the joists are. So go to the left and drill a 5mm hole, and go to the right and drill a 5mm hole down into the room from the ceiling, yeah? Then do the same on the other side of that particular joist, that one going down there. All right, and then you can get a string line, put a screw in one end, fire it across, and it will show up where your joist is going all the way down through. So you haven't got to keep on guessworking trying to find where it is. Do that all the way down through, and you'll save yourself a bit of time in the long run. All right, probably quite a lot of time actually, and a lot of heartache and losing screws through the plasterboard, etc., etc. So do that, find where your centres are. I was quite lucky here, it was 450 centres, which worked out nice with the 1800-900 plasterboard. Then when you come to here, if you have got a nice flat wall, all this is going to be dry lined eventually. If you have got a nice flat wall, then you can get your string line and again, measure off 900 from here, which is the size of the plasterboard, 900 from the middle and the end. Send a string line down again, and you'll be able to get a full board on there then, without it running out or causing problems once you start and get down to the other end. All right, so that's how we dry line, or what's called overboarding a ceiling. Why are we dry lining the walls? Well, this is heavy Artex from here up to here. It's kind of that paint on Artex stuff. So rather than chipping away at it and all the messing around, and also the plaster's dead anyway, so we're just going to dry line the whole lot and keep it simple. In the chimneys here, the chimney is actually blocked off to an extent. Again, we've got to dry line it, make it all better, all nice again. It's already been plasterboarded on the front. Around here, we've got a bit of damp up in that left-hand corner there, which I'm hoping to sort out once I do the pointing outside. And then around here, we've got a damp issue. Now, all that is, this is quite a common thing, so it's worthwhile noting this, is that they didn't insulate these houses when they were built. So what's happened is right up underneath here, I think you can see there's a gap through the window. So the cold air is meeting the warm air and creating condensation, which is causing this damp here. So what I'm going to do there is put some dry damp proofing in behind, and then insulating it with PIR board, which is that thick foam stuff, which I'll probably use 60mm PIR board in here. All the skirting boards are off. I'm not keeping any of the original features. There's too much messing around. This is a rental house, or will be, and I need to crack on with it. I haven't got time to be messing around with plaster moldings and things like that. So where we're at now, I need to tell you about this as well. So this is the wall which adjoins next door, and we have a bit of a problem here with damp. Now, this is the next door's chimney here. It is, to be fair, it's not bad at the moment, but it can get quite wet. So what I'm doing on this wall is battening it off, putting some DPC across here as well, damp proof course membrane. I won't go right across the whole wall, there's no need. It's only wet in that particular area there, and the chimney comes down this kind of way, so it's not going any further than here. In fact, if anything, it will go out that way onto the landing. So it will be battened off the wall, so it's coming off 25mm, and what I'll probably do is knock a couple holes in the ceiling there where that damp is on the first two battens, just for it somewhere for it to vent up into the loft, which is a airy space anyway. Maybe even make a couple holes in the floor as well, just for circulation. So that's how I'm tackling that, and it will keep the even if the wall gets damp, then nothing else will. By the way, I'm also putting in a new window over there as well, because there's a bit of a lack of lintel there. Okay, quick tip for you here. What I do with battening is I drill pre-drill the holes. Each one's got 4 holes here, and then I put through a tile drill just to mark where I've got a drill. And then I, as you can see, there's a strike there and a strike on that one there, one at the bottom, one at the top. And then I just pick up that drill, the bigger drill, once and go around the whole lot, rather than sort of juggling with the batten and a great big heavy drill. So makes it a lot easier, and it means that you can plug it all and drill it all and then screw it all in one hit. Half an hour later, and we've got the battens on the wall. Those 3 at the end there, you see that I put some DPC in behind the battens because this area is getting damp here. Now it is a very small area, and you can pretty much see where it is there. That's probably, the camera isn't really showing it right. It's not actually spreading out this far to a level. It's mainly just this area here. So that's next door's chimney. In these older houses, what they did was the chimney would be in the middle of the room, and then it would go up at an angle out. So that's the problem that we got there. I'm going to put some DPC over the first row of battens there. There's no need to do the rest of the battens. That's total overkill. It's utterly dry there. The chimney doesn't run in behind there, so it's unnecessary. So I'm going to get the DPC on now. There it is with the damp-proof membrane. So I'm starting to lose light now, so I'm doing this as the last video. So I've just got the floorboards up at the moment. This was rewired in late 90s, and it was done quite well. So as long as it tests out okay, then we're all good. I've run in a fire alarm cable as well, feed. They're going to be radio linked fire alarms. So that goes from the roof space, which goes out to the hall, which is out there, or the landing out there, comes down here. I'll pick up a live feed from up in the loft, and that goes onto the landing, and then I'll have one in the kitchen as well, a heat alarm. So that'll be that. Under here, I'm just doing this for future diary as well. Underneath the bedroom door, there's a junction box there. I know it seems like there's loads going on there, but again, if you open it up, it is actually very neat. So that's just all the wires joined into one there. Yeah, so I'm going to got the 2 sockets in there, extended the ring. Well, I've actually moved the ring, I haven't actually extended it. And just put in a new loop there. And that's it for now. I think I've nearly done it for today. And then next minute I'll be dry lining all of that. So that'll be a foil backed plasterboard from there to there. And then the rest will be standard 18 by 900 plasterboards going across there, and that'll be that all done. So then we're moving on over to this one next, which is pretty easy actually. Well, is it? Is anything easy? But it's going to be a bit of dry lining, a bit of patching up down here. I'll just stick some plasterboard on around the bottom there, just to bring it out to the same level, and then I'll just dot and dab all the way around. Lovely jubbly. See you soon. Okay guys, this is another day now. Obviously I finished off there yesterday. I'm going to save cutting those bits of plasterboard in, just to see if I've got any offcuts that will slide in there nicely. So secret is really with plasterboard, and I find, is do all the things that are going to be the largest boards first, as much as you can within reason. So that's my advice there, because any cuts that you do get after that, you can just fill in as necessary. So today I have done this wall. I've been on it for about 4 hours now. I've had to run in new sockets and move the light switch as well. So as you can see, that wall was our text on the top, and then it was a right mess underneath, and there was a lot of patches of plaster missing. Now, let me tell you some tips about what happens when plaster goes missing. So these walls are not very strong. The reason I'm filming this now is because it's got really dark in here, so hopefully you can see okay. So all the big patches of wall which came out like that, the best thing to do is get some offcuts of plasterboard and get some dot and dab or bonding compound and stick it to the wall, as opposed to filling it out with bonding plaster or hard wall. So stick that to the back and then stick your plasterboards over the top of the wall. All right, so to dot and dab, need to cut around the socket, put the board up before you put any adhesive on the back, hit it with a hammer on this side and it will give you an indent of where you need to cut out on the back edge. So quite, it's a simple job of dot and dabbing, and the good thing is about it is that it's very easy to plumb it up as well, get it all level and plumb up. Because the walls are so bad in this particular case and they're just flaking away, to a certain extent, what I've done is I've actually sat these on a batten down below, which is 50mm. I've got 2450 from the top of the board down to the floor, so I can just use a 50mm piece of batten which I screw to the floor, and also it gives me a nice flat edge to start from as well at the bottom, so the wall's going to be flat rather than in and out. Mix not dot and dab, you want it quite thick and thick as possible. On a project like this, you're better off with a proper mechanical whisker, which is what I've got, which makes it a lot easier and saves you risks. Blob it on the wall. I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and then every sort of 500mm ish I've gone down and put blobs on, and then you can just push it back to the wall and then plumb it up, and you've got pretty much a perfect wall. And the good thing with plasterboard, as you can see, it hides a multitude of sins, so you can literally just pop it up and there it is, and it's ready to plaster. Also, it does give you a bit of sound insulation and to a level, a bit of heat insulation as well. So I've got these walls to do, and around the door and back down. I don't do time-lapse stuff. These are videos that are nice for me to make, so I'm just keeping it simple as opposed to what I do with my motorbike videos. But do subscribe if you've got this far. That would be really cool. And like the video as well. So that's how to dot and dab. As I say, it hides a multitude of sins. So on to the next bit now. So I'm just going to build up over the door and then do the same down here. And what we do here with the door frame is I bring the door frame, cut a piece of wood that is, well, in this case, it's going to be about 22mm, I would say. Cut a 22mm piece, strip back to the top before I skim plaster, because what you want to do is skim to the flat edge of the door frame, right, which we're extending here. And then I can architrave that after, I can plaster it, and it'll be dead flat to the actual door frame there, and then put architrave on after. You can see the damp course down there. I've had a look at that, and overnight it's been absolutely fine, so no problem there. So yes, good job. Oh, if you're wondering what that is, I had a bit of not a flood, but I had a bit of leakage in my garage, and so that got a bit damp, but it wasn't really damp, and it's dried out absolutely 100% fine, so it won't bleed through the plaster. It'll be fine. Right, let's get a bit more done. Obviously, I am a motorcycle channel predominantly, but if you could like the video, that would be very much appreciated. I really hope that you've learned something from this video. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll be doing a bit of plastering and a little bit more of the same, I expect. Cheers.